Live. First live stream outside. Got the Pink Floyd shirt on. How is the one person in the stream right now? Oh, now they're gone. Now it's just me in the forest. It is absolutely beautiful where I am right now. The weather is absolutely extraordinary. Probably one of the last days like this of the year, but it is very nice. The smell is incredible. Bro, you literally just came on when I started work. Wasn't meant to be. Where do you work? Oh, that's an old comment, probably. That makes sense. Someone's channel. Someone's channel. That's a nice picture of the sun. That looks like a picture of the sun that I used for an album cover that I designed once. Today's been very nice. Today has been a perfect day. I'm outside right now, just spending some time out, breathing and in my solitude, reconnecting with myself. And the solitude is very much needed, very much precious, very much enjoyed, very much cherished on my end. Love your channel, dude. Thank you so much, Tommy. From one Tommy to another. Thank you. Appreciate it a lot. I wanted to say thank you for the video about romanticizing your process. It helped me see clear, and I've produced a really neat beat that I've come to love as a result. You're a great influence. Wow. That means a lot. Thank you very much. That's incredible that the video touched you, that you resonated with it. I'm happy to hear that you're making beats, you're making music, another musician. That is awesome. I love making music. You know the vibe of making vibes. I'm really happy that the video found you. And yeah, I mean, the fact that you've come to love it as a result, that's something that we forget in the process, is that you know, something unique. I believe, I think it applies to all works and all processes, but creativity is in a more obvious manner. I think, you know, when you're building a house, you know that you're doing well based off of, you know, how well you're matching the blueprint and how well everything's being logically constructed. When you're running a business, you know how well you're doing based off of profits. When you're doing art, when you're in the creative process, you know how well you're doing based off of how much you like it. And I believe that. And I think that we forget that sometimes. We forget that spark. And this summer, I graduated from film school. I finished my senior thesis in May, and it was a long film to make, and I had a lot of fun making it. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of stress. And then I took a break. You know, this summer I kind of took a break from filmmaking, except for a couple projects. A fun film that I've been making with my siblings. Another film that I've been making, a comedy skit with my friends. Not really, you know, not the same kind of work ethic, mental approach to those projects as I did with my other films in film school. And I reconnected with just like the pureness of having fun. And you know, I think it's a big lesson that I was learning from my soul. Like, yeah, like the kind of, like, we're making a parody of the Halloween films, my siblings and I, because that was the first film I actually ever made for me as a filmmaker, was when I was like 12, 13, 14. Made it with my siblings. It's like a Halloween movie, you know, Michael Myers. And now this summer we're making the sequel. And it's just pure fun, just having so much fun making it, and just, you know, really showing me. And I was learning a lot of, like, yeah, like, every project should be approached like this. Even your serious professional work as a creative, you know, it's have fun. This is your playground. And the more that you lean into that, the better work you'll produce. Like, have fun with it. Make something that you really enjoy. Like, really, like, you want to feel excited towards it, because excitement births more ideas. Excitement drives more engagement and drives more imagination and more like, yeah, like because you want to do more, because you want to see it kind of pan out, you'll think of more ideas for it. You'll be more open to where it could go and what it's meant to be. I just want to say your videos have really helped me in my creative journey. Please never stop. Oh, I will never stop. Promise. I'm just starting. I have a bunch of ideas on my Google Doc where I organize everything, and that's just what I've written down. There's so much more in the chamber. There's so much more to come. So content is a long-term mission for me. So I'm happy that you resonate with the content. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for being a part of the community, and I'm excited for the future content and for you guys to take all of that in. Your words mean a lot to me. The support always means a lot to me, and the support helps me. It's a great delicacy in the journey. So thank you. Thank you for support. Thank you for supporting the videos. Took what you had to say about letting silence help you. Yes. I was just thinking about it too, and I believe it's something that I will carry for the rest of my life. That is like incredible to read for me, because, and I was reflecting on this a lot today too, because I think a lot, I conceptualize a lot on my content plan and my mission and my work, and right now what I'm doing for work, and just pondering a lot on like, whatever venture you go on, whatever long-term mission you go on, whatever you take on for work, you need direction. Speed without direction is nothing. And for me, I give my direction to God. I let God take control. I let God determine the direction, and the direction I take in the physical form is the sign that He gives me. And I was pondering on what, more of my direction. I've always pondered on it the past few years, but the other day, I was just like thinking really deeply, on the direction for my work and ultimately the kind of impact I want to have with people. I specialize in creativity and art, but really what's underneath all of it and the sort of direction is getting people closer to their soul. And I think creativity is so much more than just the arts and so much more than just the creative process itself. The artist's journey is about coming closer to your own soul, and that has so many more benefits than just helping with your creative work. Silence is Silence and solitude, especially in the world that we live in today, is such a superpower and such a blessing and such a neglected thing, um, collectively. But when you lean into silence and you lean into solitude, just take an hour, take 2 hours, take 3 hours out of your day to just be quiet, just go outside, or, you know, remove the external stimulations, and you will find peace there. You will be able to create a space there. You will be able to create a peace there. Not that it will be necessarily easy. It can be very discomforting, again, because of the world that we live in today. But if I can help more people come to that, then that's something that means a lot to me. And I very much recommend that you do carry it into the rest of your life. Silence helps a lot. For the creative process, yes. Silence, the ideas that you receive in the silence, the answers that you come in contact with in the silence. It's not, you know, I don't wanna say it's not easy for everyone, because, beliefs are very powerful. If you don't think it's easy, then maybe you'll shy away from it, but I believe anything's possible. But I will say, people have different circumstances, so it's not the same. I'm very privileged. I'm very blessed to have the life that God gave me, to have the kind of access that I do, that I can have, for my own solitude and silence. Not that there aren't obstacles, of course there are, but I acknowledge that it's different for everyone. But I do truly believe that, silence and solitude is the one thing that the world can't take away from you. It's the one thing that no other human on this planet's ever going to be able to experience, is your own solitude and your own silence. No one else can experience that. So that's part of what makes it very special and unique, and that's part of what makes it a sort of out. a sort of outlet and resource for information and ideas that will never be matched by any other technological device or any other book or any movie or any article or any study or any website, content, whatever it is out in the external world. It will never match the power of your own solitude and silence. Yeah, so again, more than just the creative process, it's ultimately like you can live a creative life, and you can grow a relationship with your creative spirit and your soul without identifying as an artist. That's what I truly believe in. And that's why my mission means a lot to me, because I'm ultimately, yeah, like I'm targeting artists, but so much more than that. It has to do with the soul, which everyone has a soul. So everyone can learn something, everyone can grow in that relationship. No one's excluded from that. And so that kind of like drives me more with my content, ultimately, like the discussions I want to have with everyone. That's so trippy. I knew what you were going to say before you said it. Like you read my mind. I feel we're both connected to a higher plane with a higher purpose for this life. You feel it. Get in tune with it. Whenever someone talks like that, I just say keep following it. Like, don't suppress that. You come to obstacles in your life. Maybe people try and take you away from it, but keep pursuing that. Like, tune into that. You have a soul, and you. There's more to this life than the world makes it out to be. And creativity is something that will bring you closer to that. Yeah. It's like, when two minds are on the same frequency, that's why, that's when they vibe. That's when those connections are made. That's awesome. Just dropping by to say that I'm grateful I get to watch your videos. Thank you for your inspiring and uplifting messages and words that helps me feel like I'm not alone. That's incredible. Thank you so much for those words. That's amazing. I've received your love in my heart, and it means a lot. Thank you for expressing that. Yeah. I watch content that makes me feel seen, heard, and understood. I think of our generation, kind of in particular, the people my age. There's a collective unrest. I think of the scene in Fight Club when Brad Pitt's character is talking to all the people in the Fight Club, and he's like, pumping gas, and there's no Great Depression, there's no war. Our war is a spiritual war. I think about that. That scene always pops into my mind when I think about these things. But I think that our generation, if it's not obvious, we do live in a world that's not where the dominant ideologies and the dominant ways that we behave are not aligned with our highest good. The way we kind of organize as societies, the way we divide and conquer, the way we're run. And we feel that. Our generation feels that, and the collective level on the soul. But ultimately, like nothing changes unless you change. So if we want our world to change, then we have to change first on an individual level. And again, that's why the relationship with the soul is so important. I think, we're in a very interesting age. And the more that we talk about this and the more we have conversations about this, the better. We are stronger as a pack. And ultimately, the collective state of the world is in our power, is in our collective power. And by starting on the individual level, it takes like water in a plant. You have to give time towards nurturing that relationship. You have to work on yourself, to work on your mind. Your mind is a receptor for ideas, creativity, arts, the relationship with your soul, access and wisdom, access and answers, developing a spiritual life, coming to know God, dedicating yourself to a purpose and not just giving your time away to devices and distractions. And that can only be done by you. Like I said in my recent video, you can have all the personal trainers you want in the world. Not a single one of them is going to be able to lift that weight for you. So you have to be the one to lead that for yourself. And if we all collectively do that, I think that leads in a collective good direction. And that's the superpower of content. But it's a double-edged sword, like many things. That's why there's content addiction, which I struggle with as well. We're not alone in that. Certainly not alone in that. Thank you for your words. And yeah, it's very important that, we do things that are good for us, and we follow good things that we know at the soul level, because that will lead to good lives, lead to other good things, and ultimately a better world. And yeah, I love the community that's being developed on this channel. I really do love it. There's a lot of great conversations happening. We always have a lot of great conversations on these streams too. I love Carl Jung's reasons, similar to what you're talking about. I love Carl Jung. I'm reading his book, Man Symbols, or Symbols of Man. Shar says that the higher self is on the mountaintop, given the directions and synchronicities, etc. Our human selves aren't supposed to figure out the whole plan. Yes. Totally resonate. That's why I said in the last video that you need to be detached from where the project will take you, just like anything, whether it's a project or whether it's a vision, whether it's this or that or decision. You have to be detached from figuring out the details and the plans. God does not row. God steers. We have to row. We have to trust, and we have to follow, and we have to work. And the more mental energy, that's why anxiety and worry, most of it is, I would say all of it is useless, but so much of it that we do is for nothing. Either it's about the past, which cannot change, or it's about the future, which we cannot predict or control. So it's useless. And if instead we use that mental energy, because it's energy, I find that sometimes my best work. Hopefully I'm back. Let me know if you can see me or hear me. Okay, it looks like it says successfully connected. Nice. Cool. When do you feel it's best time to take a break creatively, or do you push through it? I find that sometimes my best work can come from moving forward. I don't want to get frustrated. Yeah. I've had this question before. I think that, I take breaks all the time. I think breaks are good. Space is good. Also, even when you're in a project, I think, like, let's say like you're working on a song, something's not, if you were, spent a while working on something, and like all of a sudden you're not vibing with it, you don't like it, you never know, space can do wonders. Sometimes it's just your mind like overthinking, or sometimes it's your mind like getting too zoomed in. Sometimes you got to zoom out, take a break for a day or on two, and so you just like do it. You're like, oh, I'm gonna take a month of break, when you know that you're just using that as an excuse. So ultimately, when it's best, and when it's not best. And if you're truly not sure, if you don't think you know the answer, then let go. Let go of, or take space. And if that's the case, if you're truly not sure exactly what you should do, you don't have to worry about making the right decision. Just make a decision. That's better than no decision at all. So there's no rule for it. Just like in creativity, there are no rules. I always say the only number one rule that you follow is the rule of the heart, whatever the heart tells you. So you kind of sense what's best for you. Both can be good, like I said. I think sometimes it is worth just going through, moving through, especially when you can sense that you're starting to feel like it's getting a little hard. Hard is not a bad thing. Hard can be good. If you push through, then you can really get to some gold. It's like that picture of the two miners, like the one who's mining and they're about to strike gold, and the other one who's mining and they stop right before they hit it. So you never know what's around the corner. You got to sense it. You got to sense what's good, what feels good for you. But yeah, don't take a break for too long. I'm actually experiencing this right now with my music. Working on a couple singles right now, and one of the singles, I just was hitting like writer's block, like crazy, the craziest writer's block I think I've ever faced with any project. I just could not think of like lyrics that vibed well with the flow of the song and everything. It's a song. It's called "In the Morning." It'll be my second signal. Keep saying signal, single, and I just couldn't really get a good vibe for the lyrics. So I took space. I took a week away, a week or two, because I wasn't feeling it. And then I was in the car one day, and I was like, let me try and think about this. And I just took out a piece of paper and a pen. I just sat there in silence, and then the lyrics kind of just came to me. And it was like divine timing. All felt good. Now all the lyrics are basically done. Now I'm gonna start recording vocals next week, and it feels right. And also, when you're writing lyrics, so a tip that I would try out is like pretend as if the song. I think I wrote a blog on this. I did. Pretend as if the song is already made. It's already a real song, and instead of writing the lyrics, you're trying to remember them. So like it's a song that you forgot. So just imagine that this song that you're writing right now is already, let's say it's like a hit. It's like a 20-year-old song, but you forgot the lyrics. So you're playing it maybe on the guitar or the piano, or you're just playing the tracks on your computer, and you're just trying to remember, like, what was the lyrics? What were the lyrics again? And there's something about the imagination visualization that, I say that like creativity, the artist zone, like time doesn't exist. It's just it's a flow known and made, and so the song's already made. It's like you're tapping into this like radio signal where the song's already done, and you're just remembering. And it helps with just like not thinking, more feeling, and it helps also with just like it's more effortless. Like it just the lyrics feel right and they sound right, and that's all you need. And that's what I do with my music, and it really helps. So yeah, it's, I would say that. What was I saying before that? But yeah, space during creativity, it depends on like what feels best. And if you're not really sure, then just decide. And you learn with time. Like I'm learning. I'm learning my own how I work with space as an artist. There's some times where I intentionally take space, like I said, and it works wonders. Like one time I was actually the song that I have already on my Spotify, I'll Still Be Your Rock. I remember I recorded the vocals I was listening to that same night or the day after, and I was like, I do not like these at all. I took a space for a day or two, and I came back, I was like, these are great. So you just never know. You really don't. Jumping off from what you said about play, I see being connected to your higher self is the same as being connected to your inner child. I think kids are more connected to source. Yes, totally agree. And when you bring out the inner child, that's creativity right there. For sure. What does that sound like? Creativity, making art, right? You need all those things, and again, because creativity is directly related with your soul. Yeah, I think those are all healthy things on a soul level. Um, also, kids are authentic. Kids, older kid that you start to are thinking. Authenticity is like the highest vibrational state. Authenticity is just being who you are. So yeah, if we can be more like children in those ways, I think that would be very good. Um, yeah, definitely. Definitely it's connected to your higher self. Isn't that what life is all about too? Play. Kids just want to play. Okay, stream lagging. Hopefully it's all good. I'm outside, so, but I want to be outside right now. I'm late. Got the notification right when I was listening to amazing breakcore music. Whoa, gave me an idea to have a setting in a star thrust roller rank 90s place. Whoa, that sounds crazy. That's an awesome, that gives me Stranger Things vibes. That's so cool. I like that. You should write, you should conceptualize more on that. It's laggy. Maybe maybe I should move. I'll go more towards the house. More towards my house. Hopefully the connection's better over there. Oh. Maybe the connection's better. I don't know if you guys saw the squirrel. He's under the deck right now. But what I was saying about, yeah, listening more to your subconscious than your conscious, yeah. Getting out of the way of ego, getting out of the way of, or letting your ego get out of the way of the magic of what's flowing through you. Yeah, that's why creativity it's an emotional process. That's why art makes us feel things. And in order to make things that make us feel things, we have to feel things while we make them. So follow the feeling, and the more you tap into that, the more you tune into that, the better the things start to come together. Because like Kurt said, right? It's like not knowing the whole plan. You don't need to know the whole plan. You don't need to know how everything's going to figure itself out. Sometimes you don't understand a part of the piece until the piece is 3 months done. You just don't know. You know, there's something higher that's trying to build the puzzle. You just got to get out of its way. That's all you have to do. Don't take on all of it. It's not your job. Ooh, I know you're going to be cooking with that song. Thank you, JDO. I am cooking. I love the song. Pretty great song. I really love how it's coming together. Again, the lyrics are difficult, but it's very nice. And I already envision like the music video. It's gonna be nice, like in the forest again, but also blended with my desk and my work. It's gonna be really nice. I'm excited. It's gonna be really, really cool. Do you have a very visual imagination too? The visions I get are extremely detailed. Helps as a 3D artist designer for my animations. Do you mean like when you close your eyes? Because yes, that is something that's a skill that I've been able to work on and develop over the years. And man, it's very helpful. Sometimes like the other day I felt called to. I was walking outside and then I was like, I should sit down and meditate. Right when I sat down and closed my eyes, I just saw not necessarily anything from my art, but I just saw so many things. I just saw myself, like I couldn't even tell you, like I was just being brought through these valleys of flowers, and like, you know, I was talking to God, and there's just all these things. It's crazy. And that happens a lot too throughout the day. I'll close my eyes when I feel called to, and I just see very vivid things, like just very. And of course, not the same way you see like I'm looking at the screen right now, or I'm looking at this tree, but it's, I don't know, it's a sixth sense kind of thing. It's just like, and I think that kind of that's a skill of the mind, because the soul, I think that those are delivered by God. Those are delivered by the soul, and your mind is a receptive force. So the thing that I always say, the thing that you have to evolve and work on is not the creative spirit. The creative spirit is already infinity. It's already infinitely genius. It's already infinitely creative. It's like saying, I have to complete the statue of David. It's already complete. It's already done. What is there to work on? You have to work on your mind, because your mind, your access to the soul is only as good as your mind. It's only as good as you. Again, it's like the TV, or it's like a radio and the signal. The signal is, don't worry about the signal. The signal's doing its thing. You have to work on your radio. You have to work on your ability to receive and perceive the signals and these ideas. I think that there's so many ways that you do it. things I talk about in my video, but generally, like practice and presence, practice and awareness, getting your mind, not overstimulating your mind, and being very conscious about what you take in. We take in things and we don't question them. We take in images, we take in activities, we do behaviors, we do things that just aren't good. They aren't healthy, and we know they aren't good, and we still do them. But if you become conscious and you control, that's what focus is all about. It's where you direct your awareness. If you're very conscious about those things, your radio receiver will become better. And I think one of those results um, is being able to see more vividly visuals when you close your eyes, just being able to perceive them. One time when I was working on one of my films in film school, I remember doing a deep meditation for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I was listening to these like Alpha State or something like that. One of those, one of those like meditation videos on YouTube, and oh my gosh, that was actually like I'm looking at the screen right now. Or I'm looking at the tree. That's like I actually saw things. Like I physically saw. Like it was crazy. But yeah, it's like you have the ability to do those things. That's like a skill that you can work on, and I think it's a very important skill. It's very, it's in your control. And as an artist, yeah, I can imagine how that helps with 3D design for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. What kind of art do you do as a 3D artist designer? What kind of work? I feel like if I made 3D art, I'll probably do that eventually. That sounds really interesting. I do like space stuff. I do cosmic stuff. I do spiritual. I do like imagery of God, stuff like that. That'd be cool. You were frozen for about 2 minutes. Wow. Dang. 2 minutes? Oh, you guys probably missed the squirrel. Man, it's all right. Okay, phew, we're back. What's the thing you're most excited about right now? Life. I'm so excited about life. I feel very closely tied to God's plan, and just like there's a deep comfort and peace in God's plan when you don't have to worry about anything that'll pass you, that's meant for you. Very excited about just spending time with family, and in particular with my work. I have some projects cooking up right now, stuff with content that I'm really excited about. For me, the past few years has been creating a story. That wasn't the intention from the start. LOL was just changing my passion. Had to just let the visuals. It's funny how life moves through us and shows us how purpose forms, because purpose doesn't form the same way for two people. It's very interesting, right? Like you almost like sometimes, like some people, they just like come across it one day. For others, it's something that develops over time, and then for other people, we wake up one day and you realize, oh wow, the thing that I've been doing the past 2 years, this is my purpose. It's funny, right? But flow into me, yeah. If it feels right, like it's like the Lana Del Rey song. If you know, you know, like me, running down that path. It's very true. If it feels right, and that's it. I love not knowing how my project's going to turn out, because the creative spirit can truly guide the direction. That's it. That's the magic. If you can really embrace that, you don't need to hold on. Then, because like trying to control is like you're holding on to something that's trying to fly off, but you realize that when you let go, it's allowed to soar, and it's allowed to take the form that it's meant to. Man, yeah. Ooh, it gets me excited. Ooh, it should. Gets me excited. Gets me very excited. Art is a crazy thing. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah, you can have a lot of trust. You should have trust. Also, visuals with eyes open too usually happens with my eyes open, just stare off into space. Haha, I've never tried that. Interesting. Have to practice that. Yeah. I like staring off into nature and then losing my trance, and then an idea just pops in. That's always the best. Or I realized the reason why I was staring at like a specific tree or branch was to look at something and then think of something else, and then yeah. Closing my eyes and seeing my story aesthetic, I just see the vision spiritually. See settings and plushies. That's awesome. Story aesthetic, yeah. The aesthetic or the style of the piece that you're working on, or the overall artistic style that you have as an artist, is something that you really have to feel out, and it's something that you have to like. There's a reason. If you feel like you don't have a style, or you don't have a unique brand, I guess, or just, yeah, like a creative voice, if you feel like you can't find it, or you're just like, I'm not original or whatever, ask yourself, okay, do I have certain artists that I prefer over others? Yeah. So that means that you can recognize you can recognize the difference between styles, and not only can you recognize, but you can sense what you like and what you don't like, and that is proof right there that you have a creative style within your heart. And that's why I think looking at your inspirations and the things that you like is super useful, because you can see something that you like and it teaches you about yourself. It teaches you about what you like in creativity, what you like in art, what your creative spirit wants to make. Whatever it wants to make, it will see it reflected back out into the world. Oh, I like that thing because it's the thing that I want to make. So you have to listen to that. You have to communicate with that. You have to be aware of why you like the things that you like. And the more that I've leaned into becoming aware of why I like the things that I like meditating on them and just thinking about them, pondering them, experiencing more of that art, the more I see what I care about as a human, as a soul, and the vibes that I like. The vibes. That's what it is, a vibe. As cliche as that is, it really is a vibe. I had a teacher, Jen. She was like the best teacher in film school. She was incredible. Love Jen. She always talked about, she has said at every class, it's all about the vibe. It's all about the vibe, the way, the vibe. That's what it is. It's about capturing that. You can't really put it into words. It's hard to. But yeah, if you can really like dig into that, if you can dig into that, you can see, why what vibes you like in art. If you want to make music, okay, who are your favorite artists? What do they look like? What kind of music do they make? What do their music videos look like? How do they feel? How does it make you feel? You got posters in your room? Okay, look at those posters. See the connections. See the patterns that you recognize. Those are the kind of things that you can use as inspiration for your own creative style. Because it's actually really your soul sending you messages saying, I want to make these things. I like these because these are the things that I want to make. Not that every inspiration is that you just copy other artists. It's not about copying. It's all about balance. But it's about recognizing that there's validity in your taste, and there's a reason why you're being drawn to certain things over others. There's a lot to learn from that. Science currently says the brain creates consciousness, but after researching into near-death experience over 10 years of having any of my own spiritual experiences, I see the brain is just, yeah. You can't really, yeah, it's something that you just have to experience almost yourself in order to really feel it and truly believe it. And that's also like, I think coming close to your own creativity, coming close to your own soul and the power of the mind, I think opens you up to those spiritual experiences as well. Developing a spiritual life. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you feed into that, Kurt. Feed into that. If you see that line, if you see that truth, something feels right, like, don't suppress that. I think if you have those thoughts, and anyone else who has those thoughts and beliefs, spend 2 to 3 hours a day in solitude and silence. Just do it, because the power's within. Spend a lot of time in solitude. Let the answers come. Thank you so much for your videos. Your message means the world. Your message to the world means a lot. Thank you so much, Lux. I appreciate that a lot. That's awesome. That's great. That is amazing. God, you guys are awesome. I love this community so much, and I love that the content is very well received with everyone here. Oh, there goes a squirrel again. I love making the content. I have a lot more videos in the works right now. A lot of stuff that I'm very excited about. So thank you. Thank you for the support. Couldn't do without you guys. A ton of different psychics have had tests done in their brain. They have all heightened gamma state. Yeah. So yeah, that I had to do more research into the science, but there is, like I said, I mean, we talked about it, right? The meditations, and there's things that you can do to get more creative ideas in the process. And if you really do view it that way, like your brain, your mind is a receptor for these things. You work on evolving that receptor. Be conscious on what you're taking in. Don't just take in anything. Be very intentional about that stuff. My brand is angelic themed. I love that, angelic. That's awesome. Heavy and divine imagery. That's incredible. Surreal dream. That's amazing. The story I'm creating is currently around 22 animations long. Wow, that is beautiful. That makes me so happy to hear. Do you post things on your channel? That's amazing. That sounds like all stuff up my alley too. That's like, there's a reason why you came to my channel. There's a reason why you're on the stream. I think you've been on the other streams, right? Kurt sounds familiar. It's hard to keep track of all the names. Are there any little things that inspire you to continue your ideologies in life? Everything. This butterfly that just passed me now, that inspires me. I think life is a mirror, and you see, your truths reflected back out into you. Every day I get inspiration from God to keep doing the things that I'm doing and to move forward. And the more that I come in tune with that truth and that mission, that life, the more I see it reflected back into me, or back out to me from the world. I think when that kind of alignment, like, you just see it more in the world. It all starts with you, though. And yeah, like, everything inspires me. People inspire me. Not because of what people necessarily do, but people just for living. People inspire me because I love people. And like I said, our world is collectively, the state of our world needs a lot of work. The direction that we're heading is not one of unification. It's not one for our highest good. I don't believe that. So how does that happen? You have to take control of your own life first. You have to look at yourself, and you have to pursue the things that you should be pursuing. So that's why I think, that's part of why it's important. You can't change the world unless you change yourself. Yeah. My dreams inspire me. Dreams in my sleep and dreams in the waking life. Thanks for your videos. Your videos are really different and helped me a lot. Thank you, Entity. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your words. I really appreciate that. Love that the videos found you. Love that they help, and that you feel that they're different. That's awesome. Because I would, like I said, content is a double-edged sword. If you're consuming content, being conscious about that, about the time that you're spending. If I want, because I make long videos. I make like 10 to 15 minutes, and I don't think you should be on the internet for too long in a day. And it's something that I struggle with too, making content. Is that, I like to consume content and learn a lot. I like to learn a lot. So, it's difficult, but I think that, discipline will take you very far. And so I think that if you're consuming my content, you're consuming content, it should be worth every second. It really should. So I'm happy to hear that it's different, and it gives you a different perspective, maybe something you can't get from other content, maybe something that is definitely worth your time. So thank you for expressing that. Making stories, movies, or any other art form feels like I'm entering another world. It's absolutely different. Well, that's the power of art. That's the power of creativity. I think that creativity and art has it's just barely scratching the surface of its own potential. And I believe that art and creativity is going to become a language for humanity to collectively have conversations with each other. And I think that as people become more overstimulated and more stressed out with the news of the world and our devices, we will turn to art as comfort for the soul. And then the power of art then will be to inform and convey powerful messages. So I think if everyone develops their artistic skills and getting closer to their soul and the stories that their soul wants to tell, and I think we can spread really positive things out into the world. And, art is this really beautiful thing that anyone can vibe with. Doesn't matter where you're from, where you're born, what ethnicity you are. Everyone loves music. We love watching movies. And so that's a power right there. That is a power. I believe the power of the camera, the power of the cinema camera is, they all affect ideas. And Winston Churchill says, or is it Winston Churchill or FDR? I think it's FDR actually, that the empires of the future, the empires of the mind, something along those lines. And it's very true. Whatever ideologies and whatever thoughts we have, that is whatever world we want to create. I think and then the question is, how do you get there? How do you communicate? How do you enter that network of ideas and thoughts that we collectively have as a human race? I think art has a very unique position in that network. And like I said, I think it's barely scratched the surface, and we're going to see it become more prevalent and more important in our lifetimes. So that's why I really care about this community, and I care about the content that I make, and I care about these conversations, because it's all very important. Your creativity is a lot more than just making art. There's a lot more behind it. So master your skill set, master yourself as an artist, and you will have tools. Conceptualizing on a shirt, yeah. Conceptualizing. I always say conceptualizing. I might do merch at some point. I'm not sure when. But yeah, I think conceptualizing. Yeah, that's actually. I actually hadn't thought of that. That's so funny. Conceptualize. My other ones would definitely be dream on. I love dream on. I love that phrase, dream on. That would definitely be one. Yeah, conceptualizing is great. That is great. So funny. I study myself and learn what sparks my creativity. Then I immerse myself in those things, and inspiration just flows. It's almost at will, but I don't force it. I hope that makes sense. That makes total sense. I vibed with that statement. That's like the perfect place to be with your process. And yeah, it's such I say like ballerina. It's like you're a ballerina. It's like a balance, because like you said, you can't force it, but it's like, how can I set up my life so that this can occur effortlessly? So this can occur, more often. And again, that's the things like in your control. Those are like, whether it's discipline, or whether it's the thing that you consume, or how you spend your time, how you set up your life for that kind of state, what you just described right there, to occur more often. And then you don't force it. You let it flow, and you trust in the time, and you trust when you get inspiration and ideas. And yeah, like ultimately, I don't think we can control or force ideas. We can only control our own openness to them. And yeah, it's and our openness is in our control, through awareness, through focus, through our actions and behaviors that are either good or bad for our minds. Yeah, but you can start at the very basic place of like solitude, just spending time in silence. Bring a pencil and a pen, Bring a pencil and paper, or pen and paper. Be open, be very open. So we're all just mirrors to each other. Agree the vibes are everything. Vision of vibes, create direction in a nutshell. Yep, all of that. I was always drawn to creating music videos, so that's what I'm doing. Nice. That's what you're drawn to. Music videos are awesome. Love making music videos. I made a couple before. I get so inspired when I see great music videos. And also, like, I'm a filmmaker and a musician, so music video like blends the two mediums. So that's why also it means a lot to me. Don't got to spend some time in I do got to spend some time in solitude. Do the obvious. With a simple happy mood every day. Do the obvious. Yes. Do the obvious. Dude, you don't need more information if you already know what to do. It's just a matter of doing it. Sometimes we think we need more information because we're trying to ignore the obvious thing, because like trying to find ways around it or delay it, but it won't change. Our brand is Divine Radiance Eternal. That's awesome. Divine Radiance Eternal. Divine Radiance Eternal. That's awesome. I love that. Yes, I've chatted to you before. Okay, yeah. No, yeah. Kirk sounded familiar. That's awesome. Thank you everyone for being on the stream, by the way. I love these streams. These streams are always incredible. Always awesome. Probably do more of them outside. Hopefully the lag thing isn't too much of an issue, but I like being outside with the trees and everything. Because yeah, school, social interactions, anxiety, expectations formed by challenge, but stress kind of draw me away from true artistic beauty of life. Yeah. And it's definitely, it's also about mindset, right? Like, what do you look at problems as problems, or do you look at them as opportunities? Do you look at conflict as conflict? Do you look at conflict as something that's trying to make you better? And so the world that we live in has a lot of challenges for your creativity, because never has it been easier to not have to use your creativity. We live right now in the age where it's easiest to put in zero effort to nourishing our creativity. You can live a life where you don't put in any intentional effort towards it, and you'll live. And because of those challenges, you are forced to intentionally work on that relationship to a different degree than, if we lived in a different kind of state of the world. And so because of that, your relationship with the creative spirit deepens. So it's about mindset too, right? Of like, how do you view these things? Are these things bringing me away from creativity, or are they giving me opportunities to come closer to my creativity? Because now I have to confront these obstacles. And yeah, it's very, everything's happening for you, not to you. It's very powerful when you kind of see everything as giving you an opportunity, or giving you something that you actually need, and something that's going to help you. I love hearing from others and seeing how their brain works, how they see the world, what they're passionate about, drawn to creative. Me too. That's why I love like looking at other creators online and seeing like the content they make and the discussions they have and the thoughts that they have. And for me, like I really do think, like, when I'm looking at someone out online, or if I'm looking at their ideas, there's a reason why that person or that creator is coming into my life right now. Like recently I've been doing research on business, because I started videography this summer, and I'm looking into all these different things and all these principles that are going to help me support my own living. And it's incredible that all the people and all the creators that are coming into my life because of this kind of venture of research that I'm on, it all feels right in my soul, and hearing their thoughts and everything. 'Cause it's more about business, it's about life, it's about abundance, it's about all these other things. And when you resonate with something that someone's saying, I believe that you're seeing yourself. You're not necessarily just seeing them, you're seeing yourself in them, you're seeing your soul in them. And that's the way that everything's kind of connected, and the whole mirror thing. And that's the beauty of God's design of relationships and people, how they can bring the best out of us, how they can awaken something within us. And it's almost just proof that we can't do it alone, That's what friends are for, you know? Yeah. And again, everything's a tool. Everything really is a tool. In the online space, you can either be addicted, you could be scrolling all day, or you could use it to your power. Just depends on how you want to use it. Just like a hammer can be used to build a house, or it can be used to hit someone. But yeah, I'm happy that you resonate with the things that I'm saying. I'm happy that you guys are here, and I love hearing everything that you guys are talking about, creativity and spirituality. It all makes me say, things are aligning in real time, and it's beautiful and it's great. Now it's a matter of, using these conversations how we believe they're meant to be used, right? If you watch a podcast for an hour, it's something that like Alex Hormozy said in a video that I watched recently, and it's genius. If you watch something, it's something along the lines of like, if you watch an hour-long podcast, and then you don't take away, or you don't at least try to take away anything, And it's kind of like just a general thing, you know, of course, like there's exceptions to the rule because maybe it played something subconsciously that was meant to show you something. But generally speaking, right, like if you're watching like an hour-long podcast, you don't take away anything, you don't apply it to your life in some form, then you were just entertaining yourself. It was entertainment in disguise of what, you know, you really claim to seek out. So again, that's the power of these conversations and the power of connections and how we can bring that into our life and how that can actually make change and how that can give us things that we're meant to hear. I just want to redefine how stories and media are made because I know we can go to higher with creation. Yep, we can. I mean, like Robert Bresson, I believe the director said, like, it's just about cinema, you know, but all art. Like, um, cinema is, uh, he said something like the age of cinema is nothing. Like, we haven't seen anything. Cinema's only been around for a little over a century. That's nothing. That's nothing. So, yeah, there's it will go in the direction. I think it's really important to consider this. You know, it's going to change. It's just a matter of how it changes and what role we're playing in that. Because especially now with the rise of AI and what, you know, our collective goals are, or I would argue lack of goals, lack of direction, what that results in. Because power is going to increase, devices are going to increase, content media is going to increase. It's just a matter of what those things look like. So power is responsibility. If you develop power within this space, you have responsibility to use that wisely. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. Great responsibility. So, you know, but how are we using it? How are we using this thing that is inevitably going to grow and become more and more of a power? Your videos are definitely worth watching. They're always helpful for self reconnection. That's awesome. Thank you thank you for saying that. Thank you for that support. That's honestly that is very, very important for me. So that's great to hear. Yeah, I love reading the comments and the messages and the videos. It's really great. There's a lot of great things that people say, and there's a lot of it helps me too with the channel and the mission, and helps me figure out too like what content people want, what kind of content people like. But ultimately, you know, like the reason why people connect is because I create from the soul. I create what I want. I create what I like, and I think by digging so deep into my own soul, you know, that's inevitably going to touch someone else. By the way, I asked earlier if you had a very visual imagination because your eyes are always darting everywhere while talking. You feel in the flow while you're talking. Yeah, I definitely. Um, I think because like when I read something, I have a lot of different thoughts, and it's almost like trying to organize, um, like how I word something. Because sometimes like it's just like it's a lot, and then I have to find the right words for it. But really, because it's feelings. Like a lot of things we're talking about are just like big concepts and big feelings. So yeah, that's probably why I'm just looking everywhere, looking at a leaf, looking at a tree. It's also like I got a beautiful view in front of me. So I got a lot of nice trees over there. But yeah, it's beautiful when you watch people give speeches and talks, and you could just tell they're just in flow state. Man, it's a beautiful thing. Again, it's the same thing in art and creativity. You allow it to take over. You get out of its way. Maybe you're channeling too. Yeah, I believe in that. Yeah, it's all about channeling. The more that you get out of its way, the more that you trust, the more it will take over, the more that it will, you know. That's what it's about. It's so amazing seeing someone with such wisdom. It can make me feel worse when comparing, but the truth is you just tap deeper into the creative spirit that everyone has. Thank you very much, JDO, for those words. That means a lot. I'm happy that you help bring this out in me and that you give such great comments and questions that allow this conversation. And I really appreciate you and your presence and your time. And these conversations can only be had if we go pretty deep. So thank you for going deep with me. Thank you, everyone, for going deep collectively. And yeah, the creative spirit Everyone has it. And if we all talk about it, if we all help each other bring it out, has the power. Has the power that we can participate in. Thank you. Really. I'm very grateful to God for the things that I have, and ultimately I think that's the power of content creation too, is like you solve your own problems and then share the solution. So like you share your experiences, and then however people, whatever people's intuitive impressions are off of that, that'll help them in their journey. That's the best thing that I can do for myself, is be a fountain and ultimately connect with people like you, because you guys helped me in my journey. You guys helped me a lot. So yeah. Script, scrap, burnout. I was stuck in this loop, but the romanticized video really helped me a lot. That's awesome. My POV's completely changed being an artist. Oh, that's awesome. That is so great. Thank you for saying that. That's great. That's makes me very happy to hear that I helped you out in that way with the process. And you know, whatever worked in the way that you implemented whatever you learned from the video, just keep doing that. And you know, like take that with you and allow that to be a part of your skill set. Allow that lesson to always be there. And I'm happy to have helped you in any kind of manner in that way. That's amazing. But yeah, I gotta look at the bad as challenge and opportunity, because these things make me grow. And when I get tired, there's always naps to sleep. And yeah, mindset is everything. Your thoughts, the quality of your thoughts determine the quality of your life. A person who has $8 million and is angry all the time is an angry person, and they have an angry life. And if you view challenges and problems as just bad things, then that's it. Then that's a losing mentality, because you can't win there. The winning mentality is looking at those as opportunities. And that's really what it is. It's a growth mindset, and it's two completely different versions of a life. The same circumstance, the same thing happens. It's just a different way of looking at it. And so that actually, then it becomes a different circumstance, becomes a different life because of your mindset. It would be cool to see more BTS of your thought processes, or live action creation videos or something like that. Again, I just always love seeing people's thought process of what comes to them as they're creating. Yeah. That's something actually I was writing down today about content. I want to do more like videos documenting my actual process. I did that a lot when I was in film school the past few months, before the summer, documenting and vlogging film sets and stuff like that. Music, I definitely I want to document. I'm in the middle of making a couple singles, and after the singles, I'm gonna make a record. It's like a mini album. I'm definitely documenting that. That's gonna be a whole YouTube video. Um, and yeah, I think I want to document the making of the music as well. Um, the music that I'm making. Yeah, it's a matter of how I want to frame it, I guess. I'm gonna do more thinking on that. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm gonna think more on that for sure. Um, and then the filmmaking, right now, I'm working on a script for my next film. Once that goes into filming, that's gonna be a whole. I'm probably gonna go back into vlogging at that point. Um, a mix of like vlogging and then my traditional videos that I make now. But I definitely want to vlog like film sets. That's a lot of fun for me. And other creative project I do, I mean, it's really like it's the content and the freelancing as well. I mean, I'd like to document freelancing, but it's also not necessarily, you know, I don't have the same, feeling towards it than I do for music and filmmaking. But I know it's important. Um, I do eventually want to lead into the direction of like, you know, sparking conversation about money, because that's a real thing, and we all have to find practical ways to support our dreams, you know. And that's something that I'm navigating right now. And just like I make content to help people with their creative process, I know I can make content to help people, to help us starving artists feel full. And yeah, I'm gonna definitely think more on that, how I want that to develop as my freelancing kind of business continues to grow. But yeah, documenting the music process will definitely be coming for sure. You have so much wisdom, feels like I'm talking to someone who's like 10,000 years old. I see a lot of myself in you. That's awesome. Well, thank you. I mean, we are all infinite at the core. So yeah, I mean, what is age at the end of the day? How old really are we? You know, it's things to think about. There's the moral of the story. How old actually are you? That's what I want you guys to take away from this stream. But I'm happy that you resonate with the wisdom. Anything? Oh, there's a wasp. You know what's funny? I do believe that accessing creativity and ideas, same source of the soul, same source of infinite wisdom. And I think that the more that we harness this ability, the more that this is like, I attribute all this to like my relationship with my own soul. Anything that is able to serve me, it's because of like the time that I spend in solitude, the time that I spend like just being quiet and kind of just tapping into the soul and how my soul feels about the experiences of my life. Which again, like I said at the beginning of the stream, is like it's creativity. That's creativity. It's tapping into the soul and it's tapping into that source and that channel. Yeah. Yo, that's so exciting with the album music creation process. Yes. It is a very exciting stuff. Ooh. Wasp. It's very exciting stuff. I'm facing a lot of things that are, challenging my musical journey in terms of, like I said, that writer's block and just like, you have to learn a lot more. You have to learn a lot more skills in order to create the things that you have in your visions. And that's kind of like what I'm, confronting right now. So I'm growing a lot as a musician. It's exciting stuff. Like I'll have an idea for a song. It's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. It's like, now I gotta learn. And that's what I think it's gonna happen with each song. Each song that I develop, each song that I produce. So yeah, it's exciting. There's a lot in the works. Fun fact: Tozek secretly had 3 past lives he remembers. Yeah, I was a butcher in my last one, and then I was a gladiator in the other 2. Yeah, the gladiator ones were very painful. I didn't do that well in the arena. The butcher though, I was pretty good. I made some pretty good steaks. Yeah. I don't know if you use Milanote, but it's been helping me massively with storyboarding and organizing. I feel like Milanote actually reached out to me for sponsorship, I want to say. It might have been Milanote or one of the other sites. There's a lot of sites like that. But no, I'll have to look into it. I don't know if you use Milanote, but it's been helping massively with storyboarding and organizing all my projects. It's been a lifesaver. Someone with very likely ADHD. Oh, my process is very chaotic. Yeah. Hashtag not sponsored. Yeah. I have to look into that for sure. I used a site, probably similar to Milano. I created like a whole, I don't know if I would call it maybe a vision board. It was basically like a whole map of like my mission, my content missions, like pictures and text and all this stuff. I love it. It's on my desktop. I look at it like daily, and yeah, it's I love using that site for that reason. That was great. Yeah, there's a power. There's a power in utilizing those tools. Everything's becoming AI though now. Like all those sites, they're all like, look at our new AI program. Wait, really? You remember your past lives? I do not. I don't know how many past lives I had. I don't know how many I don't know how many times I fought in that arena. I don't know, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll remember as I tap in more and more. I swear he does. Maybe. Maybe I do. We're all old souls. That's why we're here on the stream together. What makes you believe in yourself most? The feeling. I mean, if I were to answer, just like, I don't know, certain different things come to mind. The strongest thing is just my faith in God. I know God's plan transcends everything. And so because I know God's plan is certain, I believe in myself to do the things that I know he wants me to do. And that's what gives me my belief and certainty. And what gives me belief daily is a feeling. It's a feeling from the soul that I'm meant to do this. And belief in myself is not necessarily that I will accomplish something specific on a certain timeline, but more so that I have belief in myself that I will win, I will triumph over the obstacles that come my way, and I will ultimately align with my destiny, because my destiny is certain. And I feel so strong in my visions. I feel so strong in my dreams. It just feels, everything feels right. That I know I have control over the only thing that I really have control over, which is my own mind, and where I focus my attention, where I focus my discipline. And I have belief and faith in that, because those things are known, and those things are immediate, and those things are in my power and in my control. And all I have to do is do that, and then God takes care of the rest. Again, the visions, the dreams, they all feel right, and I know pursuing them will lead me to where I'm meant to go. That's all I need. Truly, I don't need to be attached to any kind of outcomes or any certain amount of money or certain this or that. I do have big dreams, and I do have big goals, and those are like the North Stars. But I believe in myself wholeheartedly to pursue in the manner that I know I feel called to. And I think, belief maybe is a bit different from confidence. I think the way you can build confidence is it's small wins over time, proving to yourself that you can do it, not letting yourself break your own promises. If you're going to say you're going to do something, then do it. Every time you say you're going to do something and you don't follow through, that's weakening your mind. That's weakening the power that your mind can have and the power of yourself. So it's something that you can build over time. And I think that's confidence. And the belief, for me, the belief comes from the heart and the soul, knowing that this is the right direction, this is where I'm going to go. Nothing's going to stop me. And the losses are wins in disguise, because it's all happening in its own timing. And yeah. Wow, these wasps are really they're like, yeah, man, I believe in myself too. They're really there's like two of these guys just flying around me. I love Mila Note. I gotta check it out. I'll check it out. I've heard it many times before, but for me, that's God, the creative spirit, the aspect potentially pure happiness. Yep. Yeah. Ultimately, because I know God's in control, I don't need to. I think, but really, actually, that's making me think, JDL. The belief and confidence, the belief I have in myself is a belief that I'm going to do the things that I need to do and I'm meant to do. But, I think there's a distinction between an ego belief, or if anything, a belief in yourself is a trust and faith in God, because God's handling everything else. And for me, I know that I don't need to rely on myself to control things that are out of my control. Again, that's why the specifics and the details are, caputo. They should not worry about them. Oh yeah, these wasps are. I'm probably by a nest right now. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect. It shouldn't. I'm gonna go. And you don't have to do the things that you're not supposed to do. You don't have to serve that role. All you have to do is row. You don't have to steer. So that's kind of what I'm saying. So I don't actually need to believe in myself in the traditional way that we usually think about believing in yourself. But yeah, I've proven myself wrong many times. So why can't I prove myself wrong now? So why can't I prove myself wrong? Well, you can prove yourself right or wrong. It's up to you, right? That is in your power. It's in your control. I'm 2D animator working on my animation project now that I wanted to animate for a long time. My connection with my creative soul was at a higher level, but now after 1 month, it's kind of low. It comes in waves. Don't lose the faith. Don't lose the hope. It's definitely a test. I remember, I think even like Billie Eilish had an interview once I watched her, and it was like before she wrote the Barbie song, and she was like talking with Phineas. She's like, cause she couldn't write a song for like, I don't know, a week or a month. She wasn't feeling it. She's like, oh my gosh, is this it? Is my career over? Like after everything that she's accomplished, all the songs and incredible music that she's made, she's like, I think this is it. And then like a week later, she wrote the Barbie song. So I would definitely not give into the appearances necessarily. Ride the wave, just ride the wave. What is your soul calling you to do? Maybe like we had this conversation at the beginning of the stream, space is something, it's a good thing, right? So yeah, just trust in the timing. Do what you should be doing, make good decisions, but just don't try to control things that you can't. Like I said, you can't control ideas, but you can control your openness to them. That's very true, Radio. I believe that as well. Thank you for the reassurance. Past self is never better than future self. Future self is grown. Might be that you have more challenges. Yeah, you have more challenges, and those challenges will give you upgraded skills. It's like a video game. It'll give you upgraded skills, and then you'll be more capable in the future. To balance out the depth of the questions, what toppings do you have on your pizza? No, this is the deepest question yet, actually, because I have to tap into my soul. Okay, I'm seeing no toppings and pineapple. That's right, pineapple. I would say pineapple is on pizza is one of the best things God ever made, and we're just enjoying that gift. Pineapple and pizza is actually like that's where it's at. That's where it's at. What about you guys? What's your favorite toppings? Put them in the chat. I want to see everyone who's watching and listening to me right now. Put your favorite toppings in the chat right now. I'm gonna judge everyone based off of their toppings. And if you don't have a topping I like, you're getting kicked out. I'm kidding. But yeah, I think for me, pineapple is probably the best. What is your favorite flavor of drink? Ooh, it's either water. Nope. I mean, water is my favorite drink, but I think I have to go lemonade. Lemonade's always been number one for me. Lemonade's just been like, oh man. I remember my nanny would make homemade lemonade. That stuff was bang. Stuff was really good. Lemonade stands. There's a reason why there's lemonade stands. You don't see a soda stand. You don't see apple juice stand. You see a lemonade stand. So lemonade's where it's at. I think it's important to allow yourself to have schematic, but even more important for one to understand that the schematic can and will be changed for whatever purpose you find your desires. What does schematic mean? I think of shamanic. What is schematic? I don't know if I ever heard of that. Schematic. What is schematic? Yes, you can get it, Natasha. It's a lifesaver. I gotta check it out. Mail a note. Seriously, I have a mail a note tab open right now. Dream, you said you were going out to shoot. Can you remember what you did and how you did? How did that go, by the way? Oh, I think Nerf Mafia. Yeah, it was the. It's like a gangster movie, but with the Nerf guns, real guns. So that's pretty fun. Those laughs, just a lot of fun. Like, and that's what it is. Like I said, like you just need to tap into that having fun. That's where the creativity's at. And I don't know if I'll post it on my channel. I gotta see. But it's been a lot of fun making. Been a lot of fun. Time about to get stunned. Yeah, that's why I got out of there. To get in there. Confidence is my current arrival point. Interesting. I like that. That's cool. Yeah, the pathway. The path is created from you, right? And the belief you have in yourself. Trust the path. Sometimes you reach checkpoints too. The other day I reached a checkpoint. Checkpoints. Family friend described it as it's like you're walking in a dark forest and you don't know where you're going, but then you come across a tree with a checkpoint and you're like, okay, I know I'm going in the right direction. I think you know when you come across a checkpoint. Like you know. You just know. You just know intuitively, I think. Is there a way I could end the process as I am kind of so much comfortable in them that I keep on stretching them and ending the project? Do you mean like, you're not really sure when to like say like, okay, this project's done. Like, I'm done working on it because I can relate to that a lot. That's happened a lot with me with films. Actually, it's happening with me right now with my senior thesis film because I'm still trying to make the final edit before I upload it on this YouTube channel, which I'm very excited for. But I haven't confronted it yet with the other projects I have going on. It's really an excuse, something that I have to confront. I actually have it scheduled to do it next week. I like Rick Rubin's take on it. Rick Rubin says that when you genuinely don't feel like working on something anymore, and not just like laziness, it's hard. It is really hard. Again, like the ballerina balance dance, it's hard to tell the difference between like laziness and then what your soul's actually telling you. But like when you genuinely feel like, okay, I don't feel like working on this anymore, then it's done. The project is over. Project is done. And again, it's not the same thing. It's like I'm burnt out or I'm lazy or I don't feel like it right now. It's like, no, I genuinely don't have an interest right now. Like I don't feel like working on it. I think that's, I like that a lot. I like the kind of idea, and I kind of applied that. I remember one time I was editing this film, and I watched that interview where he said that, and then in that moment I was like, oh, I guess I'm done editing my film. And then it was just like, it's done. I don't know. It's very interesting. It's really cool. I like that idea. But sometimes you just know. Again, it's like when you know. And don't, feedback is a big thing. Feedback is a double-edged sword. Getting feedback from others it can help, but if something feels right to you, everyone else telling you something else, listen to yourself. Trust your intuition. I set time limits for every short film I do. By the time I finish, I've grown past it. It's important to finish it to remain a signpost of my authentic self at the time. That's smart too. Yeah, I've done that as well. You said like, okay, I'm gonna finish by the end of this week, and whatever state it's in, it's done. But then also, you can be open of like, you give yourself space and then listen to it again or watch it again or whatever you're doing, and see how you feel about it if your thoughts have changed. Because again, space can really help. But yeah, I like that. As like giving yourself a time frame to finish something is really nice. That's your next shirt. Pineapple on pizza. Maybe that'll be the first merch I release. It's just a pineapple, like not even like sliced pineapple. It's just a pineapple on a pizza. Looks like a nice day there with lots of space. Rainy and relatively cramped in Vancouver today. Oh, you're in Vancouver. Oh, that's cool. But I'm feeling myself expand. Nice. Relax in the rain. I love the rain. But it's really nice here. I think this is going to be one of the last nice sunny days for this year because, winter's approaching. Or not winter, fall's approaching. Right around the corner. So yeah, I want to do this live stream outside. Maybe I won't be able to soon. I mean, I will be able to. Oh, I'll do a live stream in it snows crazy here. I'll do a live stream in the snow. That'll be nice. Classic pepperoni. Yeah. It's funny, I have a big family, so we have every topping. We need the pepperoni, sausage, pineapple, plain, everything. Pineapple pizza, ew, love classical pepperoni with a purple topping that hasn't been invented yet. What purple topping? Eggplant? Plum? What is the purple topping? I like purple. Purple's one of my favorite colors. Schematic as in blueprint, something set in stone before it's built. Something set in stone before it's built. Okay, blueprint. So then I think it's important to allow yourself to have blueprint, even more important for one to understand that the blueprint can and will be changed for whatever purpose you find in your desires. Yes, I like that a lot. You know, that makes me think about I feel like when I was in film school, the first year or two in film school in the film program, I learned how to make a plan. So it's like making a shot list or, going in with a plan or an idea. And then like my third year, I learned how to leave my plan behind. So, but even though you're leaving the plan behind, you still have to learn how to make it. Because you go in with an idea and the idea will take on a certain form as you actually practice it in real time. So yeah, I like that idea. It's like you go in with an idea, you go in with a vision, you have a vision idea of how something's going to go, but you're open to you have to be open to accepting the fact that that will change, and it's supposed to. That's the way. But this same source that created that plan, how it channeled through you, is going to be the same source that continues to write that plan as it's being practiced, as you create your art. So just have faith in where it's going, because it's never done growing. And even when the piece of art, I would say the piece of art is done, it's still going to change, because it takes on different meanings in your life and in other people's lives. Certain songs mean different things to me depending on where I'm at and how I'm feeling and at what point in life I'm at. So don't hold on. We were saying that before. When you control and you try and hold on, you limit its ability to fly. You hold it down. You're trying to have comfort in holding on and control, but the true comfort is held in realizing that you don't need that. Realizing that the best thing for it is letting go. That's a great comfort. A lot more of a reliable comfort and healthy comfort and long-term comfort. Stream starting to play up. Rip. No. Yes, life is my playground. How do you stop bad habits? Well, I think part of stopping a bad habit is acknowledging that there's no such thing as a hack. There are things that you can help that can help you to set it up. I can go over a couple of those things. Some things I've learned from the book Atomic Habits and other things, other books and other sources. But the biggest thing that I always have in mind when it comes to like discipline and breaking bad habits is that you're never going to get around the thing that you want to avoid most, which is just doing the thing. It's literally like Shia LaBeouf's video. Just do it. You know what you have to do. You just have to do it. And that's from willpower. If you're stuck in a bad habit, maybe eating a certain food that you don't want to, you can try and look for every hack that you want. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to confront the fact that you need willpower to put it down. You need willpower to just not eat it, just to not do it. So you need to do the thing as in not eating the food. There's no hack around that. The sooner you come to accept that, the sooner you're on the right track, because then the sooner you're going to use mental energy towards working on that step. So just always keep that in mind. There's no way around it. There's no hack. Now, again, there are things that you can help to support yourself and kind of set you up for success. Atomic Habits, I'm like more than halfway through that book. The biggest thing that kind of jumped out to me, the biggest thing that I resonated with was this idea of proximity, the things in your proximity. If you're struggling to not eat a certain food, then why do you have it in your house? If you're struggling with doom scrolling, then why do you have your phone wherever you go? If you're struggling to not work out, then maybe put some weights in your proximity, or put something that's going to promote, a good habit out in the open, make it obvious. That can help kind of like set you up. I like putting little sticky notes on my desk to remind me of certain things. So I remember when I was started putting up sticky notes, I put up like I went to an art show with my dad, and I saw this really cool piece of art on like doom scrolling. Like there's like this doom scrolling, like kind of like sucking out your spiritual energy. It was really cool, and I replicated that image on a sticky note and put it on my desk, and it kind of reminded me, whenever I was on my phone or if I was doom scrolling, then I would see that and I would, kind of get a reminder about it. And yeah, so like things out in the open, your environment does affect your thoughts. And you don't want to beat yourself up. There's a healthy amount of like, not beating yourself up. There's a healthy amount of like, conversation, honest, harsh truth with yourself. Like, listen, we got to stop, but you don't want to beat yourself up to the point where you're developing these beliefs that are counterproductive for you. If you say like, oh, I'm such a loser, I'm such this, I'm that, and okay, if I'm a loser, then I'm just going to keep doing this bad habit. So you can't really, if you talk in that way, that it's not good for you. It's not loving yourself in the right way. And then two, it's just not going to be productive really for what you're trying to break. And again, it's all balance, right? You have to find your way. I'm trying to think of my own stories when I was like break bad habits. It's all growth too. It's all like a journey. So things that I still struggle with, doom scrolling. I'll notice myself in moments mindlessly scrolling, and then I notice that it's an issue in the moment, and I have to stop, and that's all about willpower, and that's all about discipline. I think one of the things about bad habits and discipline is if you don't know what your why is, then that's like trying to travel in a boat with no motor, no sails. Because motivation is good, but it will only last as long as what you believe at the core. True beliefs are true motivation. Your belief that murdering is wrong motivates you to not kill. So if you have a true belief in yourself and you know your why and you create an identity around that, then that's your motivation to not fall into a bad habit. Someone who's trying to quit smoking, I think the best thing they can do for them on an identity way is not being like, oh, I'm a smoker and I'm trying to quit. It's to tell yourself, I'm not a smoker. I'm not a smoker. That's not what I do. And tackling those things at the root and at the foundation, that creates a foundation for those bad habits to be confronted and eventually, overcome. Have patience with yourself, because rarely do problems in life get fixed overnight. But they can be fixed overnight. It's all in the moment. It's all in the present moment. Something that I really liked, some guy described it in a video I watched on YouTube. He said, when you focus on the present moment, when you're truly present, then you can putting down that brownie. It's you putting down that brownie